Hello and welcome to English Redo, the podcast where you practice real English for real life. I'm very happy you are here today. In this podcast, we learn English in a calm and simple way. I speak slowly and clearly so you can listen, relax, and understand. You can listen while walking, you can listen while cooking, you can listen while relaxing at home. Little by little, day by day, your English will become stronger. Today's episode is about something very common in daily life: going to the store. Almost everyone goes to a store during the week. Sometimes we buy food, sometimes we buy drinks, sometimes we buy small things for the house. The store is also a place where we have short conversations. We ask questions, we talk to the cashier, we talk to other customers. So today, we will practice English for these real situations. Imagine this with me. It is a normal day. You are at home. You open your refrigerator, you look inside, and you notice something. The refrigerator is almost empty. Maybe you say to yourself, I need to buy some groceries. Repeat. I need to buy some groceries. Very good. Groceries are the food and daily items we buy from a store. Now you start thinking about what you need. Maybe you say, I should make a shopping list. Repeat. I should make a shopping list. Making a list is a good habit. It helps you remember what to buy. You take a piece of paper, or maybe you open the Notes app on your phone. You begin writing things down. You might say, let me check what I need. Repeat, let me check what I need. You open the refrigerator again. You look carefully. Maybe you notice there is no milk, so you say, I need to buy milk. Repeat, I need to buy milk. Then you check the fruit basket. Maybe the bananas are gone. You say, I should buy some fruit. Repeat, I should buy some fruit. Then you open a cabinet. You see that the bread is finished. You say, we're out of bread. Repeat, we're out of bread. That means there is no bread left. This is a very common expression in English. We're out of milk. We're out of eggs, we're out of sugar. Now your list is growing. Milk, bread, fruit, eggs, maybe some vegetables. You might say, this should be enough for today. Repeat, this should be enough for today. Now it is time to go to the store. You pick up your keys, you grab your bag, and you say, okay, let's go to the store. Repeat, okay, let's go to the store. You step outside your house. The air feels fresh. Maybe the sun is shining. Maybe it is a little cloudy. You start walking or driving to the store. On the way, you might think, I hope the store isn't too crowded. Repeat, I hope the store isn't too crowded. Sometimes stores are busy, especially in the evening or on weekends. But sometimes they are calm and quiet. After a few minutes, you arrive. You see the store in front of you. The doors open automatically. You walk inside and you say quietly, all right, time to shop. Repeat, all right, time to shop. Inside the store, you see many shelves. There are fruits, vegetables, drinks, snacks, bread, and many other things. You take a shopping basket or a cart, and you begin walking slowly through the aisles. The first section you see is the fruit section. You look at the apples. They look fresh and shiny. You might say, these apples look good. Repeat, these apples look good. You pick one up and examine it. You might say, this one looks fresh. Repeat, this one looks fresh. Fresh food is very important. Fresh fruit tastes better and is healthier. Now you look at the bananas. Maybe they are yellow and ripe. You might say, I'll take a few bananas. Repeat, I'll take a few bananas. You place them carefully in your basket. Now you move to the vegetable section. You see tomatoes, carrots, cucumbers, and lettuce. You might say, I should buy some vegetables too. Repeat, I should buy some vegetables. Healthy meals often include vegetables. You pick up a few tomatoes. You place them in a small bag. You might say, these tomatoes look perfect. Repeat, these tomatoes look perfect. Now you continue walking through the store. You reach the dairy section. This is where milk, cheese, yogurt, and butter are usually kept. You open the refrigerator door. You look at the milk bottles. You might say, which one should I choose? Repeat, which one should I choose? There are many options: whole milk, low-fat milk, almond milk, soy milk. Sometimes choosing can take time. Finally, you decide. You say, I'll take this one. Repeat, I'll take this one. You place the milk in your basket. Now your basket is starting to fill up. You feel satisfied. Shopping is going well. You continue walking. Next, you see the bread section. The smell of fresh bread fills the air. You might say, that smells amazing. Repeat, that smells amazing. Fresh bread always smells wonderful. You look at different types: white bread, whole wheat bread, multigrain bread. You might say, I prefer whole wheat bread. Repeat, I prefer whole wheat bread. So you take one loaf and add it to your basket. Now you check your list again. You say, let me see what else I need. Repeat, let me see what else I need. You look at your list carefully. Milk, check. Bread, check. Fruit, check. Vegetables, check. Maybe you notice one more thing. Eggs. You say, oh, right, I need eggs. Repeat, oh, right, I need eggs. So you walk to the egg section. You pick up a carton of eggs, but first you open it. You check to see if any eggs are broken. This is something many people do. You might say, let me check these. Repeat, let me check these. Everything looks good, so you place the carton in your basket. Now your basket is almost full. You might say, I think that's everything. Repeat, I think that's everything. But then something interesting happens. As you walk past another aisle, you see snacks, cookies, chips, chocolate, and suddenly you feel a little tempted. You might say, maybe I'll get a small treat. Repeat, maybe I'll get a small treat. Everyone likes a treat sometimes. You pick up a small chocolate bar. You smile and say, just one is enough. Repeat, just one is enough. Now your shopping is finished. You look around the store one last time and you say, all right, time to pay. Repeat, all right, time to pay. You walk toward the checkout counter. There are a few people in line. You stand quietly and wait. You might say, the line isn't too long. Repeat, the line isn't too long. Waiting in line is a normal part of shopping. While you wait, you might look around. Maybe you see magazines. Maybe you see candy near the register. Many stores place small items there. Finally, it is your turn. The cashier smiles and says, hello. You smile back and say, hello. Repeat, hello. The cashier begins scanning your items one by one. Beep, beep, beep. Each item goes into a bag. You watch and say politely, thank you. Repeat, thank you. Soon, the cashier finishes scanning everything. They look at the screen and say,
That will be $20. You nod and say, "Okay." Repeat, "Okay." Now it is time to pay. You are standing in line at the checkout counter. This is the place where you pay for your groceries. This is also where small conversations often happen. So today, we will practice simple and natural English for this moment. Imagine you are waiting in line. There are a few people in front of you. You stand patiently. Maybe you look at your phone. Maybe you look around the store. You might say quietly, "I hope this line moves quickly." Repeat, "I hope this line moves quickly." Waiting in line is very common in stores. Sometimes the line moves fast. Sometimes it takes a little time. But finally, it is your turn. You step forward and place your basket on the counter. The cashier smiles and greets you. They might say, "Hello," or "Hi, how are you today?" This is a friendly greeting. You smile and respond. You might say, "I'm doing well, thank you." Repeat, "I'm doing well, thank you." Or you could say, "I'm good, thanks." Repeat, "I'm good, thanks." Small greetings are important in everyday English. They help create friendly interactions. Now the cashier begins scanning your groceries. They take your milk first. Beep. Then the bread. Beep. Then the fruit. Beep. Each item is scanned and placed into a bag. While this is happening, the cashier might make small conversation. They might say, "Did you find everything you needed?" This is a very common question in stores. You might answer, "Yes, I did." Repeat, "Yes, I did." Or maybe you couldn't find something. Then you might say, "Not exactly." Repeat, "Not exactly." You could also say, "I couldn't find the item I wanted." Repeat, "I couldn't find the item I wanted." These small conversations happen all the time. They are simple but useful. Now the cashier finishes scanning your groceries. They look at the screen. Then they tell you the total price. They say something like, "Your total is $23." Or, "That will be $23." You nod and say, "All right." Repeat, "All right." Now it is time to pay. There are different ways to pay. You can pay with cash, you can pay with a debit card, or you can pay with a credit card. Many people today also use their phone to pay. Let's imagine you are paying with a card. You take your card out of your wallet, you insert it into the card machine. The cashier might say, "Please insert your card." Repeat, "Please insert your card." Or they might say, "You can tap your card here." Repeat, "You can tap your card here." You follow the instructions. Then the machine asks for your PIN number. You enter it carefully. You might say quietly, "Just a moment." Repeat, "Just a moment." After a few seconds, the payment is approved. The machine makes a small sound. The cashier smiles and says, "Your payment went through." Repeat, "Your payment went through." That means the payment was successful. Now the cashier gives you a receipt. They might ask, "Would you like your receipt?" Repeat, "Would you like your receipt?" Or if you don't need it, you can say, "No, thank you." Repeat, "No, thank you." Then the cashier hands you your shopping bags. They might say, "Have a nice day." Repeat, "Have a nice day." This is a very common way to end the interaction. You smile and respond politely. You might say, "Thank you, you too." Repeat, "Thank you, you too." Or simply, "Thanks, have a good day." Repeat, "Thanks, have a good day." These small moments of kindness make everyday interactions pleasant. Now you take your shopping bags. They feel a little heavy. You walk toward the exit. The automatic doors open again, and you step outside. You might take a deep breath and say, shopping is done." Repeat, "Shopping is done." Many people feel satisfied after finishing their shopping. You might also say, I got everything I needed. Repeat. I got everything I needed. This means your shopping trip was successful. Now you begin walking back to your car or your home. As you walk, you might think about the things you bought. You might say, these groceries should last a few days. Repeat. These groceries should last a few days. Planning ahead is a good habit. Now imagine you arrive home. You open the door, you carry the bags inside, and you place them on the kitchen table. You might say, time to put everything away. Repeat. Time to put everything away. Putting groceries away is part of the routine. You take the milk and place it in the refrigerator. You take the fruit and place it in a bowl. You place the bread in the cabinet. You might say, everything looks fresh. Repeat. Everything looks fresh. Fresh food always feels nice after shopping. Now you look at your kitchen again. Your refrigerator is no longer empty. Your shelves are full again. You might smile and say, that feels better. Repeat. That feels better. Shopping helps us prepare for the days ahead. It helps us cook meals. It helps us stay organized. Now you sit down for a moment, you relax, and you think about your day. You might say, that was a productive trip. Repeat. That was a productive trip. A productive trip means you completed what you needed to do. Shopping might seem like a small task, but it is an important part of everyday life. And it's also a great way to practice English, because stores are full of real conversations. Simple questions, simple answers, friendly greetings, and useful expressions. The more you practice these situations, the more confident you will feel. In the next part of this episode, we will continue practicing. We will explore more situations inside a store. For example, asking where something is, talking to store employees, comparing prices, and making decisions about what to buy. These are real conversations people have every day while shopping, and practicing them will make your English feel natural and comfortable. So, relax, take a deep breath, and remember something important. Every small conversation helps you improve. Every sentence makes you stronger. Little by little, your English becomes part of your life.
But sometimes shopping is not that simple. Sometimes we cannot find something. Sometimes we need help. Sometimes we compare products before buying them. These situations are very common in stores, and today we will practice English for these situations. So imagine this again. You are inside a large grocery store. You are walking slowly through the aisles. Your shopping cart is moving quietly beside you. You are looking for something specific. Maybe you want to buy pasta, but you cannot find it. You look at the shelves, you look at the signs above the aisles, but the pasta is not there. You might say quietly, I can't find the pasta. Repeat. I can't find the pasta. Sometimes stores are big, and it can be difficult to find things. So you decide to ask for help. You see a store employee nearby. They are organizing products on the shelf. You walk toward them and say politely, excuse me. Repeat. Excuse me. This is a very important word in English. We use it when we want to politely get someone's attention. Now you ask your question. You might say, excuse me, where can I find pasta? Repeat. Excuse me, where can I find pasta? The employee smiles and answers, it's in aisle 7. Repeat. It's in aisle 7. Aisles are the long rows between shelves in a store. You might respond politely, thank you for your help. Repeat. Thank you for your help. Then the employee might say, you're welcome. Repeat. You're welcome.
This is a very simple and natural conversation, but it happens many times in daily life. Now you walk to aisle 7. You look at the shelves, and there it is. Different kinds of pasta. Spaghetti, penne, fusilli. There are many choices. You might say, "Wow, there are so many options." Repeat, "Wow, there are so many options." Sometimes choosing a product takes time. You might pick up one box and look at the price, then you pick up another box. You might say, "This one is cheaper." Repeat, "This one is cheaper." Comparing prices is very common while shopping. People want to save money, so they look carefully before buying something. You might also say, "This brand looks better." Repeat, "This brand looks better." Brand means the company that makes the product. Some people prefer certain brands. Others simply choose the best price. After thinking for a moment, you decide. You say, "I'll take this one." Repeat, "I'll take this one," and you place the pasta in your cart. Now you continue shopping. As you walk through the store, you notice a special sign. It says, "Sale." That means some items have a lower price. You might say, "Oh, this is on sale." Repeat, "Oh, this is on sale." Sales are exciting for shoppers. People like finding good deals. Maybe you see your favorite snack. You check the price and say, "That's a great price." Repeat, "That's a great price." You might decide to buy it. Or maybe you say, "I'll buy it next time." Repeat, "I'll buy it next time." Sometimes we want something but decide to wait. Now imagine another situation. You see a product, but you are not sure if it is fresh. Maybe it is fruit. Maybe it is bread. You might say, "Let me check the date." Repeat, "Let me check the date." Many food products have expiration dates. Checking the date helps make sure the food is fresh. You look closely at the package, then you say, "Good, it's still fresh." Repeat, "Good, it's still fresh." And you place it in your cart. Now your cart is becoming full again. You walk slowly through the final aisle. You check your list one more time. You might say, "Did I forget anything?" Repeat, "Did I forget anything?" This is a very common question people ask themselves. Sometimes we remember something at the last moment. Maybe you suddenly remember juice. You might say, "Oh, right, I need juice." Repeat, "Oh, right, I need juice." So you quickly walk to the drink section. You pick up a bottle of juice and add it to your cart. Now your shopping list is complete. You look at your cart and say, "That should be everything." Repeat, "That should be everything." You feel satisfied. Shopping is finished. But before you leave, something interesting happens. Another customer nearby looks confused. They are searching for something. They turn to you and ask politely, "Excuse me, do you know where the sugar is?" Now you are the person who can help. You might answer, "I think it's in the baking aisle." Repeat, "I think it's in the baking aisle." Helping others is a nice part of everyday life. The other customer might smile and say, "Thank you." And you respond, "No problem." Repeat, "No problem." These small, friendly moments happen often in stores. Now you start pushing your cart toward the checkout area again. You might say, "All right, time to check out." Repeat, "All right, time to check out." You join the line and wait again. While waiting, you might look at your groceries. You might say, "This should last for a week." Repeat, "This should last for a week." Planning meals and groceries for the week is very common. It helps save time and money. Soon it is your turn again. You place your items on the counter. The cashier begins scanning them. Beep, beep, beep.
You watch and say politely, "Thank you." Repeat, "Thank you." Shopping trips like this are part of everyday life, and every time you visit a store, you have a chance to practice English. You can greet people, ask questions, compare products, and have short conversations. These small moments build confidence. They make English feel natural, and they help you become a better communicator. In the next part of this episode, we will finish our story. We will practice English for leaving the store, returning home, cooking dinner, and talking about your shopping trip. Because language becomes stronger when it connects to real daily life. So, take a deep breath, relax, and remember something important. Everyday situations are the best classroom. Thank you for practicing with English Redo.